Hello everybody, my name is Coolblue and I'm bringing you guys yet another, this is actually the 10th, which I'm surprised we're getting to double digits, but I'm bringing you guys yet another CasNet interview, which is great because that means we're finding a lot of people to interview, we're finding a lot of people to give us conversations or to give us the time of day, which is awesome as well. And we also found somebody who I've been hanging out with for the past 1 hour trying to set things up. So without further ado, Grumbl3dook, would you like to say hello to all the beautiful people out there, please?
Hello, all the beautiful people out there, please. Hello. Hello.
God. Hey, yes, we get off to a great start. I'm just gonna stretch, guys. Like I said, we've been chatting for a while, and
It's been educational.
People have been watching, which is putting me under pressure because this one's live stream, which is actually this is the first live stream interview. But let's not talk about the interview because the interview is actually about you, not about the interview itself. So the first thing I'll ask you to do for us is to introduce yourself. You know, give us a little background on your real life and stuff. What you do in real life, if you go to school or whatnot. You know, just go for it.
Sounds good. My name's Grumbl3dook online, and it's Sam in real life. I'm currently looking for work. I've changed cities recently after my partner found a job, so I've just landed somewhere new. And I'm kind of using the time when I'm unemployed and job hunting to just do loads of Dota stuff, which probably isn't the most responsible choice that I could possibly be making. But the flip side of that is, if it all works out beautifully, then I never need to get a job outside of Dota again, which would be beautiful and wonderful.
Yes.
And would make me happy.
That would be great.
And yeah, that's me, I guess, in a nutshell.
Okay. And the next question I ask you, just moving on along, where did you get the name Grumbl3dook from? Because that's a very interesting name.
Yeah, I get asked that a lot, and I've actually had the name for about, let me think, must be coming on 12, 14 years now or something. Anybody who knows Blackadder, the old English Mr. Bean, you know, you guys know him as Mr. Bean. His name's, well, no, you guys know him as Mr. Bean.
Okay.
His name is Rowan Atkinson. He's an incredibly skilled actor.
Right.
Mr. Bean is like the worst thing he has ever done, and
What?
I'm sorry.
That was so
true.
funny. That's my childhood.
No,
okay.
No, it is. You need to go and you need to watch Blackadder, which is him being a bitterly sarcastic English lord. It's got Hugh Laurie in it. You know Hugh Laurie?
No, I do not. But keep going.
House.
Oh,
House.
Yeah, the old guy. The old guy with the cane.
You guys, you poached the best English shows and you ruined them. Anyway, Grumbl3dook was a quote from one of the old Blackadder episodes where Blackadder was tied to the stake and he was being burnt at the stake for being a witch, and the kind of witch hunter who's after him was just like, "You foul demon, you perfidious Grumbl3dook." And that was a time when I was kind of trying to find a name, and everyone was trying to find a good name for the LAN gaming we were doing. I was about 13 at the time, and yeah. I'd been trying a new name every week, but then you find the one that just sticks, and you just know that it sticks because when people make fun of you for it, you don't care.
Yes.
So that's my history with the name Grumbl3dook.
Okay, that's actually a really interesting history, more interesting than my history, which we'll learn about soon because I'm gonna have somebody interview me for the series. But moving on though to our next question. How did you get into video games? Because your story behind how you got your name is very interesting, but I want to hear your interesting story about how you got into video games.
I kind of had a bit of an edge there, I guess, against other people because my father was an IT teacher at my school, the school that I went to.
Right.
So after school, in breaks, you know, any time, we had the whole computer lab, and I could get in there fairly easily. I had sneaky ways of getting people in and all the rest of it. And just, yeah, we just started rocking. I think the first game I ever really got into, age, let me think, 6, was Commander Keen, the old platformers that were made by the guys who did Quake, ID Software. In fact, there's a Commander Keen Easter egg hidden in the original Quake game.
Right.
But yeah, it was kind of there, and then I started to get more into RTS, like for the Dota team stuff. I suppose you could say. Basically, I followed the Warcraft series from inception to up to World of Warcraft, and then I went to rehab.
Then you went to rehab. What do you mean?
MMO rehab. No, I did that phase of kind of being heavily into World of Warcraft and never sleeping. And,
are we talking a hardcore rating where you have to wake up at the certain times so you can go with your guild?
I'm not talking like hardcore rating, like I was very good or like highly rated or famous or anything like that. I'm talking about hardcore into it, just like I may not have been doing very well in World of Warcraft, but I was also not doing very well in my real life at the same time. You know, it's kind of going through GCSEs or SATs or whatever you guys call them, 16-year-old exams, and being into World of Warcraft is horrific.
Yeah, it's basically what they call academic suicide to a certain point. Especially if you don't know how to like gauge yourself, which I'm still figuring out. If you guys haven't pictured me and my actual channel, I haven't posted a video in a while because I've been dealing with school. Anyway,
school will do that to you. It's nasty.
Stupid school getting away with my games.
Yeah, damn it.
Alright, but continue.
Well, yeah, I mean, I suppose with video games, I just absolutely love them. I'm trying to, I mean, you know, and then got a group of friends, and we love doing LAN parties, and we love playing things online. Unreal Tournament was the big ones we played, Counter-Strike, things like that. I also had, I guess, something kind of weird in terms of getting me into video games that is slightly different from what everyone could say.
Right.
Is my mother is an educational psychologist, and she was very into the kind of educational potential.
Oh, so you had the benefit of you said your dad was in IT, so you had access to awesome computers, and your mom actually wanted you to play games so she could use it as a test subject, per se.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I was, if anybody who's either parent is a psychologist will know, you're not their child, you're their test subject. And that's fine. That's just how it works.
Yes, and just to make it awkward, your mom came to your dad and said, yes, let's make a test subject tonight.
That's the one.
And boom, there's Grumbl3dook.
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
Oh, God.
So, I mean, like, yeah, that wasn't always good. You know, like, she obviously didn't see much educational value in shooters.
Right.
But there was some old kind of Sierra Studios did some amazing kind of logic puzzle games, got me really into that kind of stuff. And yeah, I think I benefited from that, and I certainly it set the hook even deeper in terms of video games.
And basically that started you down the road of eventually to the road of casting Dota or playing Dota, right?
That's the one. Yeah, both soon, hopefully. At the moment, just casting.
Okay, so how exactly did you get into Dota? Because I mean, I just kind of alluded to it. You basically started playing a lot of RTS and you love them, but exactly how did you get into Dota and why did you get into Dota?
I remember age something like 16. I was trying to get into semi-professional Warcraft 3 with a friend, and he basically said to me, "Oh, there's this awesome Warcraft 3 mod you should try. It's getting really big and it's huge and it's awesome." And I said no, and I didn't go for it. And I really wish I had now, because I think that would have meant, I think he was talking about Dota,
right.
And I think that would have meant that I'd got into Dota like a long time earlier than I actually did. What actually happened was one of my friends, if you check out our site, The Wave, we can talk about that later, but if you ever see Metamorphosis on any of my things, he got me into Dota really. Basically, by whenever I invited him out for a drink, he wouldn't come, so the only way I could ever see him was actually to start playing Dota with him. So it was a legit strat from him. Nice end game, kind of nice end game angle there.
Nice.
But he basically said to me, it's like RTS, and I know you like RTS. And I said to him, well, which hero is, you know, I kind of got an idea of it, and I was like, okay, well, which one's most like RTS, given that all these heroes do different things? And he said Broodmother.
Yeah.
And I spent the next 80 hours playing Broodmother.
Oh my God, nice. Yes,
so
send
much
all the
fun.
Zerglings. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the one. I did Broodmother mid as well, because it was my first 80 hours. Although I'm planning on bringing back Broodmother mid. That's my career objective in Dota.
But see, the only difference is like Broodmother mid is more legit than Sniper Vladimir's offering, because I think that's what I did for like 2 games when I first started playing. But let's not talk about ColdBlue and his newbier days.
Yeah, ranged lifesteal, right?
Yeah.
Right? It works.
That 15% extra bonus damage in that crappy region. Oh yeah. No.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh.
And actually, that's kind of funny, like going back and looking at other people play games, because, I mean, we're casters, and we see some things happen sometimes that we kind of cringe at, but I think I've seen one time where it was a sniper who went Mask of Madness, Vladimir's offering, Helmet of Dominator, and then he went a Desolator.
Oh. Oh, buddy.
Okay, anyway, alright.
Pick it up. Pick up the... It's good.
Yes.
It's a good item.
It works great with all those other unique attack modifiers.
Yes, right.
Alright, but anyway. Oh, okay. So what is your favorite thing about Dota? Because Dota's a very expansive game. There's a lot of things to love. So what exactly is the thing that you love the most about Dota?
I want to say Broodmother, but no, that wouldn't be fair.
Okay.
I guess the thing about Dota that I love the most is just like because I play a lot of games. Like I used to just play loads and loads of games as I came out. As I said, loads of RTS, loads of everything else. Then when I got into university, that wasn't enough games, and it cost too much money. So I started getting into Flash games.
Oh, nice.
And if you've been looking at Flash games in anywhere over the last kind of like 5-10 years, the range you get has just expanded exponentially. You can get any kind of Flash game now. You can get RTS, you can get shooters, you can get proper 3D modeled environments and everything in Flash games now. So I was like just playing every kind of game, tower defense, everything else. In fact, that was one of the jokes that Meta made when he was getting me into Dota. He said that Dota was a tower defense game.
It is.
Which it fundamentally isn't.
No. Okay,
Given
okay.
what tower defense games are, it has towers and you defend things, which I guess technically makes it a tower defense game, but it's not.
Just that statement alone, though, like that's one of the few things. Like when I'm explaining Dota to some people, I try to say it's a tower defense game, but then I take like 20 steps back because if I say tower defense, they're gonna say, "Oh, it's Plants vs Zombies." No, stop, no.
No, it's so not a tower defense. Anyway, but that's the thing. Then I started playing Dota, and suddenly you can't reach a peak. You know, it's not like this game's going to take me 20 minutes or, at most a couple of weeks, and then I'm going to have to go and find another one.
Right.
And either spend money on it or just, wait until a decent one comes out that's free or anything else like that. And then suddenly it's like, yeah, you've got Dota. It A, is free, and B, just never ends. I guess that's the thing for me. It never, ever will end. When it begins to look like Dota might end, like it might reach some kind of peak, update.
Yep. I was just about to say, because Icefrog does an excellent job of updating the game to where if Nature's Prophet and Lifesteal and Ricky are the main carries, their first pick, first ban every single time, he'll nerf them to heck. No.
Yeah.
Well, he won't necessarily nerf them to heck, but he'll change something that makes it to where people aren't like saying, okay, let's go PL first, or let's go Phantom Lancer first, or let's go for that. He'll change it to where it's like they're still a viable hero, but they're not as impressive as a Bloodseeker now because he has max move speed every single time.
Yeah. He's tricky to use though.
Yeah. So many.
I guess the other thing about Dota is like, but yeah, the other great thing about Dota is like even without the updates, you've still barely scratched the surface. Like all of the strategies that you've ever seen in if you had watched every single pro game that had ever been out, from Dota, when it was the crappiest mod in the world up to what it is today, you have not seen a fraction of the potential combinations of heroes and awesome skill then skill then skill combinations. You haven't seen a fraction of that. So yeah, there's always more to do. You've got to be thinking every single second of it, and that's my kind of game, I guess.
Right, it's a thinking man's game.
Yeah, it's a gentleman's game.
It's
the educated gentleman's game.
Yeah, yes. Put monocle on top hat.
That's the one. Yeah. Well, you in another monocle. Yeah, I mean, that would be.
Yeah, you already have the accent. Okay, over. Okay. So, all right, quick response section. Do you know how the quick response section works?
I do. I've got to answer really quickly.
Darn it! Is it that obvious?
I'm sorry. Well, I've watched some of your other interviews. I'm sorry.
Oh, how dare you give me more views or give CasNet more views? But anyway, yes, you guys should go check out the other interviews as well. Those are excellent interviews, just as excellent as this one and the ones in the future. Now, quick response section. We'll go ahead and fire straight through it since you already know how it goes. Favorite hero?
Spirit Breaker.
Favorite courier?
Badger.
Favorite team?
Can't remember exactly, but the Badger. Because of very, very recent games, Myth.
Favorite caster?
Me.
Give me the monocle top hat back, please.
Just me.
Favorite event. Favorite
event. I really like the International. I know it's the obvious choice, but just for what it is and what it does and what it stands for, in addition to what's actually going on when you watch it, definitely the International.
Okay, favorite book.
Oh God, what's it called? It's the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb.
Oh, that one, the one Shiva got her name from?
Really?
Yeah, you didn't watch the interview, didn't you?
I watched, but dude, arranged this earlier today. Then suddenly MLG needs a caster, and then other crazy stuff is happening.
Hey, quick response. We need quick responses.
Sorry. Well, yes. Assassin's Apprentice.
Yeah, no, that's not where she got her name from. I think she got her name from some Robin. Anyway, favorite color?
Purple.
Favorite number?
9. Although I don't think that's actually my favorite number. I think the pressure's just getting to me.
Favorite non-Dota game?
Oh, that's impossible.
Nope,
I'm sorry.
Gotta answer.
No. God, Baldur's Gate.
Okay, all right, that works. I was just extending it because why not? Yeah, for everyone who's wondering, like the book and the color and that stuff wasn't listed, so he didn't know about those ones, which means I got him. Yeah.
You got. I was too confident there.
Alright, how did you get into esports? Just to move things along. Because esports, for those who don't know, esports is a growing thing. The free-to-play movie by Valve just came out. Ironic, for everybody who doesn't know, as of the recording of this video, we're heading into TI4, which is the International 4, the 4th one. And that video is about TI1, which is funny because that means, and the video just came out. What's funny because that means that video was in beta for 2 TIs, which I think was hilarious. But anyway,
And a half. Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know how it took that long.
Cool Blues jokes aside, how'd you get into esports?
Really just from Dota. I mean, it was a question of, as I said, I was playing games generally, then I got into Dota, then I got more into Dota, and then it just kind of, it draws you in quite nicely. You know, it's not like every time you log onto Dota, you're kind of bombarded with, go and watch esports now, but just gradually you're kind of playing it, and then you start hearing references to, oh, did you see that professional strat that was used by that professional team in that professional game? And after a while, you got to start thinking to yourself, maybe I should go on YouTube and see who this Navi person is. Yeah, and then it just kind of gradually built from there. I mean, for me, esports is Dota, and Dota is esports. There's not much wiggle room there, really, from my perspective. And you know, I'm at what stage do you become into esports? That would be my question to you. My answering your question with another question. I will continue to be even more into esports as time goes on. It's an ever increasing thing.
Yes, it sucks you in. It keeps you there because to me, esports, it's like you can't necessarily say it's one game. It's not just Counter-Strike. It's not just Madden. It's every game, and it's different games, and it's different things. So
that's true.
To answer your question for all the viewers, on behalf of all the viewers, what was the question? What keeps you in esports? What got you in esports?
At what point do you become into esports as opposed to just into video games or like aware that there are professional teams?
Yes, and to answer your question on behalf of all the viewers, or for the viewers, or I guess representing all the viewers, or at least people at CasNet, I would say that the answer to that question would be the point where you move past the surface of, oh, video games is just a thing I do for leisure, and you move into more of, oh, these games have other things, like there's a community here, there's this, there's that, there's this awesome thing that you can do if you only play for like 3 years, freaking World of Warcraft.
Right.
but once you get past that surface of, oh, that's a cool little toy, and you start realizing, oh, this is actually a world here, that's when you get to esports.
I'll tell you what then, actually, one thing I can totally relate to on that is I have got to the stage, I guess the stage where you get to where, like, as I say, I'm not really into other games, but every now and again I'll see an article on like a League of Legends blog or something about just kind of trends. Right. Like, you know, there was I remember one of the first big news articles I saw on the esports scene was there was an allegation of match fixing on one of the teams. Right. And I was suddenly like, oh my god, that's interesting. There's actually, like, you know, there's like the stuff you'd get in real sports for some reason. Yeah. Who would have thought it?
It's legit stuff.
Yeah, and I start like researching like just esports news. Like I don't care whether it's about Dota if it's just the news and it's about how the communities are developing and or, you know, the kind of in-team dramas that go on. I find that interesting, whatever the game is.
Or when you get a beautiful documentary handed out to you that was in beta for 2 years. Oh, by the way, everybody should go check out Free to Play. It's by Valve. You can Google it, Free to Play Valve, and it should take you to your YouTube page. You can watch it for free. But anyway, learning about their backstory is just really awesome. To like I almost shed a tear while I was watching. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so sad.
I'm hearing that from everyone who's seen it yet. It's on my to-do list, but I've been very, very busy today. It's kind of annoying given that it's the day it's come out. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing it, and everyone's saying it's quite tragic, some of the stories.
Well, I mean, it's not the stories are tragic.
Tear-jerking.
Yeah, tear-jerking, there you go, they're tear-jerking. They threaten to make you cry. But it's a really good series for everybody who's wondering about esports or just wants to know, like, why do people play video games and try to say they're professionals? Because you can become a professional playing video games, and it's a thing that's growing. And I made a point earlier where I mentioned free-to-play and talking about I was in beta. I made a joke, but I forgot to bring up why I brought it up. It was because, well, what I just said. If you're wondering about the esports scene, if you're wondering about what this whole craziness is all about that we're talking about here, or the thing that brought us here, go watch Free to Play. Yep. You'll get a better understanding of the whole entire community behind it. You get to hear both sides, kind of, sort of, but it's really skewed towards the players. And it's a good thing to show. I'm gonna show my parents eventually.
Eventually, I've actually had people. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm into esports, and they honestly think that I mean taking hallucinogenic drugs and then playing sports. And I'm like, no, that's not what the E stands for. That's not what I'm talking about here, okay? I'm talking about sports on a computer, and it's real.
You're into ecstasy sports?
Right? Yeah, that's what everyone says.
Wow, okay. That's some heavy stuff. Alright, so I'm dropping a bunch of frames. I think I'm still good on audio, so I'm going to continue, because there's really nothing changing in the video. But I am dropping a bunch of frames. So, are you still there?
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Just as long as you're still here, that makes me confident that we still have internet connection. Or I still have internet connection. So we'll move on before anything too crazy happens. What groups are you step back? How did you get into casting?
Into casting? I suppose it was a kind of an interest thing. It was something I always thought that I'd kind of be interested in doing as soon as I first saw any other kind of, non-professional caster, and was like, oh yeah, that's something I can do. I had a background in making YouTube videos and kind of blog posts and community management as well, because my partner was looking for a job in the video games industry, and she thought she might want to go into writing, either storylines or just articles in reviews.
Oh wait, hold on.
So she wanted to do a blog with a lot of content on it, and I was helping her with that.
Hold on.
I'm holding on tightly.
Alright, go ahead. Sorry, I had to refresh my live stream, and that caused lag, and I think I dropped a lot of stuff. But anyway, sorry, keep going.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, my girlfriend basically was running her own site where there were YouTube playthroughs and things like that, Let's Play videos. So I'd done the YouTube side of that, and then I got into Dota, and then I just basically... I saw a video from Purge about how to kind of become a caster, and it's true, Google is your friend. Yes. That was one of the main points he makes, and it's like, it's so easy. It requires some time perhaps, because you kind of got to go online and be like, how do I stream? And then you've got to spend half an hour working out what broadcast software is and how it all fits together. But then it's pretty much just like download it, fiddle with the settings, and you're good to go. Yeah. You're really, really good to go. And I guess from my Dota experience, we just had, a bunch of nice people who I wanted to play with, a bunch of people who I could do either silly games with, or serious games with, or strategy games with, or whatever, and it just seemed like the natural extension, natural place to go.
Just to give everybody else who's not into casting or doesn't know anything about casting, when you first start out, like Grumbl3dook has said, it is very true that it is a lot of setup. Like, it took me, like, I want to say 5 days before I actually got to the first recording. I think that was about it. And that was basically me setting up overlays, me setting up my OBS, me figuring out how to use OBS, me figuring out how to actually go about casting my games, how to set my tags. It's a lot of work, and people don't realize that sometimes. Oh, Grumbl3dook, are you still there?
Where you get your, what was it we were saying before? Your,
Hello.
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there's a lot of
Hello. Cool, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh dear. Oh, can you hear me? Now? Well, put it. What?
Hello.
I can hear you fine.
Alright, cool. I had some lag on my network, and I think it's because my parents are playing on their tablets and stuff.
Dota? Oh, right.
Yeah, right.
Gotcha. You wish. Well, so yeah, casting just was very easy to get into.
Oh, okay. Alright, so I think we lost a lot there. I don't know if it's still live streaming, but I'll check really quickly. Okay, we're also live streaming. Sweet. Alright. So the next question I asked you about is... Oh, what groups are you involved in as far as casting goes?
As far as casting goes, massive shout out to the JDL. Just because I'm not involved in their group or anything. I'm not a JDL admin. God, I wish. I've applied like 5 times. But just for being a group who is running a tournament, who are just happy to openly say like, yep, we have some pro teams in here, and we are just as interested in having amateur casters come in and cast as we are as having amateur teams come in and cast. So I had a team kind of around November last year called Reductio ad Absurdum, and we started in the JDL. We were starting off in the starter division. I think we've got the Division 1-2 playoffs coming up in a few weeks. That's where that all ended up. Sorry, not 1-2 playoffs. What am I talking about? We've got the Division 4-5 playoffs coming up in a few weeks. God. So yeah, JDL just absolutely amazing opportunity for players and casters, just because you can go in and you can do it, and if you're
right, and
if you're good,
you to become involved.
You'll get bigger.
It's a good way to get exposure and also to get involved and to get used to casting things. So I do definitely agree.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're just amazing guys for doing all that, and the friendliest admins in the world. And the other one was actually the team I just mentioned, Reductio ad Absurdum, kind of got absorbed into the Wave, which was a group of people we met kind of halfway through the JDL tournament. They shared a lot of the same interests we did. Their captain had kind of the same interest in me in terms of getting a kind of casting circle going and the media side of things and video series and things getting out as well. So we actually merged. RAE became Wave Int, and Wave as a group is kind of just getting its baby steps out of the way. Really, we're aiming to have coaching, casting, playing. We want to run tournaments. We want to take part in tournaments.
All right, hold on. Really quickly though. So you're basically in a group that's doing, like you said, coaching, casting, and what else?
Coaching, casting, playing,
right,
and organizing tournaments.
And so you're trying to make a trifecta of a group that does a whole bunch of things?
That's the one. Yeah. Just get everyone organized, delegate things to different people, and then let it all roll.
Okay.
That's the plan.
And what is this group called once again?
The Wave.
The Wave.
Dead simple. The Wave.
Sweet. Okay.
I like it. Well, we're thinking of holding a Tsunami Cup quite soon, and I think that's quite a good name. Quite a good name for that.
Perfect name for it. The Wave hosts the Tsunami Cup. Cool. All right.
Exactly.
So actually, I'm going to modify the next question actually about this, because we chatted about a little bit off air before we started live streaming to Twitch. But basically, with my based on my experience, based on what I'm seeing, because like I think the last studio I remember before I heard about a Half-a-Mox group, and then I heard about German Copters, and now I'm hearing about you guys, was BTS, because I wasn't really paying attention. So with all these different groups coming up now, because like I mentioned before, we got Half-a-Mox, he's running his group, his Half-a TV stuff. We have Zen and Blacklight, they're running German Copters. We have what was the last one? No, I just mentioned them. Oh yeah, you guys. Wow. Okay.
Hey.
Sorry. We have you guys running the Wave. So, with all these groups coming up in the esports scene, do you think that's a healthy thing for the scene, or do you think that's a bad thing for the scene?
I think it's absolutely healthy. I mean, like, it's actually kind of an honor and slightly weird to hear us being called like somebody coming up in the scene, because at the moment it was just kind of trying to get these crazy idiots organized and moving in the same direction. But yeah, I guess you could call that coming up if the direction that they're all moving in is up. I think it can only be healthy. I mean, there's just so much potential for growth in Dota in particular, for casters, people to get involved with watching, just everything. The more kind of variety you have and places to go, the better. I mean, there's more than enough interest out there to handle this and many more casting groups, in my opinion. So yeah, judging from how quickly casting can take off as well, and that seems to be something that's been true. Judging from some of the interviews of yours I've listened to, that seems to be true from the days Dota started. You know, it was very possible to go from nothing to fairly big very quickly, and that's still true because the audience is growing at the same rate as the casters, and the whole way through the audience has been much bigger than the casters could handle, I think.
Yes, and that's actually a perfect segue into the next thing, because I'm once again going to deter or go away from the main base questions. I'm going to skip a few later on. But in the Twitch chat, Half a Moke, he's actually watching, which is awesome. Shout out to you, Half a Moke. Thank you for watching. It's kind of awesome to have your feedback and stuff. Grumbl3dook, say hi. Say hi to your competition.
Hey, Heflamoke. Let's not compete. Let's be friends.
no, be enemies. Bloodbath everywhere. Anyway, moving on though.
Triple kill.
He actually mentioned Purge's How to Become a Caster kind of made things a little bit worse as far as the caster scene goes. So would you agree with that point of view, or would you think it's a little bit more healthy than it is harming? Because I would agree to a certain extent, me personally, that some people are trying to become casters that probably have no business trying to become casters. But then again, you can't become a caster unless you become a caster. So what would be your take on the whole entire thing? Do you think that, given that
I can see where that's coming from.
Yeah.
Are we saying it's the worst thing because you've suddenly got a whole load of people who maybe don't have the commitment to it or the interest to really kind of... I get that, I really do. The thing is, it is that easy to cast.
Right.
It wouldn't make any sense to kind of try and make it harder to cast or to try and hide that fact from people. I don't think. Like, the only way you're going to get people interested and get the good people involved is by publicizing the fact that it's out there. I think now that it's becoming wider knowledge that casting is very easy to get into. I think what we do need is for, be it Twitch, be it tournament organizers, be it Valve even.
Right.
Maybe if they were to start kind of stepping up quality control on certain things, that might be good. Just so that, like, you can always... I don't know, like rating systems for Twitch. I don't think I've seen them before. That would be really, really useful. Just more things in there so that you can cut the wheat from the chaff. I mean, I'm probably one of those new casters who's coming in and cluttering it up for everybody else. So I'm in a bit of a weird position here. Like, I've been doing this for a month and a half, and now I'm like, oh yeah, keep all these newbies out. Yeah. But you need... It does get annoying when there's a whole load of casts on and it's hard to find anything good, especially if you are good and you're just starting out. But I don't think the solution would be to hide how easy it is to actually do it mechanically. In my opinion.
So so basically your overall thought is that it's a good thing to state or make it more public with someone like Purge, who has 1 million people who watch his stuff, to say, hey, casting is a thing you can do if you try hard enough. But you also think that it's a double-edged sword to the point where people are just like, oh, okay, sure, I'll try casting this weekend and never cast again. Or maybe, hey, yeah, I've been doing this for about 3 months and I'm still monotone and saying a lot and missing every team fight.
Yeah, I mean, like, you need to just stop casting them, but there's nothing wrong with that person trying, It's tricky. Like, I totally understand where Hefler's coming from, I think, anyway. But... To me, it's what Purge did was basically make it so that more people would become casters.
Right.
What he got rid of was a kind of mechanical barrier to that.
Or no.
Now you could have
not necessarily mechanical, but more so mental barrier.
Yeah. Okay. And the mental barrier. So maybe the kind of passion there, but neither of those things were keeping out bad casters. They were keeping out all of the casters.
Okay.
Like, if you were a bad caster and you put in the effort, you'd have got good for it. If you're a good caster and you didn't put in the effort, then the casting scene might be missing out on some really good talent there. Yes. It's definitely a problem now because there's too many casters. But I don't think the solution would be to say, no.
Hey. But like you say there's too many casters, but from my perspective, this is me personally, Cool Blue. My perspective, I think there's a lot of casters who don't know about things that are out there, like the fact that there's the Amateur Dota 2 League, and they have games happening pretty much around the clock. The JDL has games happening around the clock, and it has a bunch of divisions in the JDL. Like, there's like 30 different divisions with games happening all around the clock. And the fact that those games aren't getting casters sometimes makes it a little bit sad, especially with the Amateur Dota 2 League, specifically because they list on their site explicitly like what casters casting what. You can sign up for whatever game you want to cast, and it's like you see like 20 casters out of 700 games, and it's like gaps in between, and it's like we have a lot of casters. Why are there gaps here? So anyway, so all that goes a long way to say that I think groups like your group with the Wave, groups like Halfamok's group with Halfla TV, and also groups like German Copters are extremely important for the scene because we need to start getting casters in the right spot, and the best way to do that is to have a central group that can span out those people, and CasNet's here to help everybody.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'd love to be able to do. You know, like contact a tournament and just be like, hey, I know you've got a whole bunch of divisions on. I know you've got pro casters lined up for your, you know, Division 1 or Premier Division or whatever you call it. I've got a whole bunch of guys here who would just love to get their hands on your bottom division games, where, you know, there might be some space and that kind of thing.
And the way you sell that to them, is I have a whole bunch of guys here that want to get a hand on your bottom division games.
We really want to get right up into your bottom division.
Yeah, there you go. Alright, continue though, sorry.
But yeah, like sorry, I'm just trying to catch up on the Twitch chat. Not too many casters, there are not enough good casters. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, one of the main things I really want to do is use, like, I'm at the Wave, I'm in charge of the kind of media / community / casting side of things.
Nice. Okay.
The main reason I want to do that is to make sure that people are good, and like we've got a little community there where people are getting better at casting. They're not just going out there with no feedback and no kind of structure to it and just casting every day. And so they might be absolutely terrible and they might miss stuff, but if they don't read the chat, they'll never know it. Having little groups like this means that we watch each other's streams, we can point stuff out to each other. Like, I made that abundantly clear to everyone in the beginning. Like, you know, if you're in this, you can criticize everything and you have to take all criticism. And that's how we get better, because that is the goal, to get better, not just get big.
And so we get better collectively much more easily than we do by ourselves. Because if you cast in a vacuum, then the next thing you know, you end up like Cool Blue. No, I'm joking. But anyway, sorry.
Streaming interviews, eh? Streaming interviews.
Streams interviews. Come on, that's crazy. Anyway, but yeah, okay. As you guys see, we can actually talk about this topic for like days upon days, just caster to caster, because as we've pointed out many times already, the casting scene, I mean, it's a huge scene, and there's a lot of people coming in, but there's a lot of tournaments that still need casters. As Halfamok says, there's a lot of small tournaments that don't have casters and they get bad casters, so in order to improve the quality, we can either have those bad casters cast more so they can become better, give them feedback to help them become better, or we can just have the good casters get off their pedestal and not cast just Division 1 games with 20 people already in the broadcast slots and go cast some other games. End event.
That's the one. Yeah. That's the one. I think a good way to look at it would I think each team should have 7 people, and that is 5 players. No, maybe 8 people. 5 players and a sub, a coach and a caster.
No.
I think that would be quite nice. And then, like, I don't know. I think there'd be interesting things happening with it.
Then it becomes touchy, because if the team's really close to that caster, they might have other ways of communicating, which can turn into a lot of
I
situations.
suppose.
Yeah.
That might be messy, but I don't know. I like the idea of casters being attached to teams just for kind of publicity kind of thing. But yeah, I can see the difficulty. Like, if you don't have a delay on your broadcast or something, and suddenly it's like, oh my god, are the other team stream sniping? And I always say, like, no, I'm sure they're not. But
there's 2 sides to everything, guys. There's a good side and a bad side, and there's also the side that's around it, the dark side. There's the dark side, the light side, and there's also the side in the middle that's like the gray area. And casting groups, casters attached to teams kind of fit in the gray area to me, but that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother hour.
I can see that.
Best. Moving on though, because I feel like we've talked about this topic to where it died. And by that I mean we like, there's a horse and it was walking, and then we beat it, and then we beat it more, and then we beat the horse more, and then we brought it back to life, and then we beat it because of Skeleton King. Don't worry, guys. It was an animated horse. It wasn't real.
Right?
True story, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
We totally beat up animated horse.
Yeah.
That is a true story.
10 out of 10 will buy this interview. But and I don't know why. It's free. But anyway. So moving on to the next question. How has casting affected you in your life?
It actually, I've really enjoyed it. Like where I was at before was kind of I did the law degree, did fairly well, and then was in the along with a lot of other people, discovering that there are like 500 times as many law graduates as there are law jobs. And so after that, you're kind of left in that kind of awkward position of like, well, I don't just want to go back to doing kind of grunt work sales. I'd like to do something a little bit more than that, but there doesn't seem to be anything out there.
Right.
Now that I've got into casting, I kind of feel able to say, okay, well, I'm going to just find any job. It doesn't matter if it's not that great. It doesn't matter if it doesn't pay that well, as long as it doesn't take up all my time.
Right.
Because then I can just work on the casting. And I'll get gradually bigger at that, and gradually bigger at that, and gradually bigger at that. And then once I get big enough to be able to just go in and quit, I'll go in and quit and stick to the casting. So it hasn't made a huge difference kind of day to day yet, but in terms of just kind of peace of mind in that I've found a hobby that I really like and potentially could be something which, you know, could be my main source of income as well, you know, a few years or whatever down the line, then that's the whole load of stress off. I've been a lot happier since I started casting, just because I'm enjoying it so much, and it's something you can take as seriously as you want to take. It can be a job, it can be a hobby, it can be something you just do with friends, it can be something you do publicly. So yeah, it's chilled me out a lot, casting, I think.
That's good. And eventually casting will be your life. So that's actually a really cool thing. Nice little transition. Speaking of real... Sorry, go ahead.
I'm hoping so, yeah.
Okay. Alright, speaking of real life though, let's go move into the final real life questions. Are there any talents that you have that you would be okay with telling the internet?
That I would be okay with telling the internet.
The part of it.
Just talking about what you said, interesting talents. I can do poi spinning. Ever heard of poi spinning?
That sounds horrible, but what is it?
It's actually from an old Maori New Zealand thing. You get... Where'd you seen it? You might have seen it in clubs and stuff, because nowadays they cover everything in neon and do it in clubs in strobe lighting. Okay. But it's when you get the kind of things on the end of strings and you spin them, and sometimes they're on fire, and sometimes they're just crazy blue lights or something else. And you got one in each hand, and you do kind of spinny patterns and stuff like that. So yeah, I do that.
So you would be the man on fire. Well, okay,
yes.
Preferably not on fire, but you would be the man with things on fire.
I would be the man with the things, and the things would be on fire. Yeah. That's not quite, doesn't roll off the tongue quite as easily, but that's...
But we gotta be technical here, because don't forget, guys, we're exquisite. We have our monocle and top hats. Actually, you have double monocles.
Double monocle.
Which would be glasses, but let's not get into semantics. But okay. That's actually really interesting. I didn't know how to name. What was the name of it again?
Poi. P-O-I is how you spell it, and pronounced like boy, I guess. So I was the poi boy. You could just keep going with this for ages, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could.
Anyway.
So many jokes. Let's not go there. But anyway.
Let's not.
Alright, so moving on to the final points. Do you have any shoutouts that you would like to make? And please feel free to make any and all shoutouts.
Okay then, rubbed his hands together in glee. Yeah, well, obviously a big shout out to the Wave. They are my team, they are my organization, they are my casting circle, they are my life right now at the moment, in between job hunting. You can find that at, well, actually it might be easier. If you search for Davidy Stephenson and The Wave, you'll find it. But if you want to see most of our actual videos and stuff like that, you can check out my YouTube. And I'm currently kind of the library of all of our stuff that we do. One of the most interesting things I think we've done recently, actually, was the tournament we ran. It's called King of the Hill, right? Or KOTH, for simplicity's sake. What we wanted to do was kind of make a tournament for individuals, so that it wasn't so much hassle organizing teams. Plus, we just didn't know enough teams at the time. Right. But at the same time, so it's 4 individuals, but we didn't just want to run a one-on-one competition. So what we did is we start up a lobby. Whoever's on and interested and knows about it can join in. We pick out 2 captains, and the first thing they do is they draft the players out of the lobby. So it's kind of before you get into the captain's mode, captain's drafting the hero stuff. You've got the captains drafting the players, and then whichever captain wins that match after they've done a captain mode game after that gets a point and is the king and comes on for the next game. And it works pretty well.
So it was basically whatever team wins, they get to stay and they get to keep the same team, or do they have to break it up afterwards?
Well, they got to break it up because it's an individual contest. So the captain gets a point, and the captain is the king for the next one.
Okay. I see.
But when he gets challenged and they come into it again,
that sounds very
they've got to draft the teams again. And what's quite interesting is the challenger is always getting the first pick, pick of the players. So the challenger will generally always be coming in with better players than the king will have.
Right.
But it worked really well because it means that anybody can drop in. It doesn't matter if it's mid-tournament season. I mean, it's currently mid-tournament season now. You're welcome to come join us if you want.
Yes, cool blue
but
there.
what it basically means is exactly.
I will be there. My team name will be #ReadyToFeed.
#ready. I'll let the sharks who inhabit the
don't. But do you have any other shout outs you'd like to make though? That tournament sounds really interesting though. Definitely give me a link. I'll put that in the description so people can find out more about it. But any other shout outs?
Any other shout? Well, just everybody on the stream. All of my followers, all of my little wave card circles. So that's all of these are Twitch TV / Ninja Bunny 65, Divok Dota DIVOK, I_can_scooter, Naraqul, which is NARAQUL. These people have ridiculous names. And Davidy Stephenson, which is David with a Y at the end, and then Stephenson with a PH.
Yes, and if you would so kindly give me all those links to those streams, I'll put those in the description below so people can click on them and check them out for themselves to find out more casting talent out there besides just Cool Blue, because I know you guys love me. But but yes, okay. And the last... Wait, do you have any more shoutouts? Any more shoutouts? Like
I don't actually know.
Come on, real life shoutouts.
Oh, one more shout out then. Right, if you go to Cheese, Toasty, and Video Games, only hang up on that one is you've got to spell the cheese with 3 E's, so CHEEE. That's my girlfriend's site, Cheese Toasty. I'm Grumbl3dook, and we do a whole bunch of stuff on there as well. Not Dota related though, sadly.
Let's play later, right?
Let's play. So we've got we're in the middle of an Antichamber at the moment. Antichamber is the most annoying game in the world, but
oh my god, I have
conversation.
I can't wait to play that game. Oh my god, don't spoil anything for me, please. Don't spoil anything.
I will not.
Actually, the better question is, can you spoil anything in that game? Anyway.
I could not. I honestly, I cannot think how to spoil Antichamber for you. I certainly couldn't explain how to progress through the game.
I mean, I can explain. You walk down one way, you walk back the other way, then you walk back down the other way. There's another way. That's what I saw.
That certainly happens. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a mind explicit word game if you guys don't know about that. But anyway, where can people find you? Because you mentioned a lot of links, but where can people find you specifically if they want to follow your stuff or find out your content and whatnot?
Awesome. Well, my Twitch is Grumbl3dook Gaming. My YouTube is Grumbl3dook Gaming. I've even got a WordPress, which is Grumbl3dook Gaming. The only one that stands out is my Twitter account, which is @Grumbl3dook. But that's hardly very different. I'm sure people can...
Come on! There's got to be some consistency there, man. You messed me up. That last one. That Twitter messed me up.
Well, there wasn't enough room. And I tried to get @Grumbl3dook Gaming, but it would have had to be @Grumbl3dook Gaming, which would have been a bit weird.
Right.
It was a bit like, it could have been kind of like, hip and street and like, oh yeah, Grumbl3dook Gaming.
Oh yeah. He is officially hip, guys.
But it didn't. It wasn't me. I'm not actually very hip, so that wouldn't have.
Dude, come on! You can fit the hipness. Like you have a monocle and top hat already, or double monocle. Come on, that's like hip times 2.
Dost thou even hoist? Yeah. Hip's not me, so it's @Grumbl3dook. It's @Grumbl.
Okay, @Grumbl3dook. Now, which one's the best one for people to find your stuff? And then I'm going to ask you, which one's the best one to find your group stuff? So first, your stuff.
My stuff, definitely kind of the natural combination of Twitch and Twitter. Twitter will tell you when I'm starting Twitch, and Twitch will allow you to watch me playing on Twitch. So yeah, Twitch and Twitter kind of just naturally work together there.
And as far as your
for the group stuff, well, my YouTube is currently kind of serving as the repository for it. We've got a playlist for each of the King of the Hill seasons we've done, and most of my games will have a lot of people from the group in it. So check out my YouTube for that for now. Okay. There'll be more information on that coming later, but people can sub to the YouTube if they want that.
Yes, and also they can also follow you on Twitter if they really want to find out when that stuff comes through, because when it comes live, you'll definitely post it there, correct?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, like when the wave YouTube gets started, that will be all over Twitter.
That'll be all over Twitter, as you guys hear Grumbl3dook say. So Grumbl3dook, I apologize, but I'm gonna have to let you go because we've been talking for a very, very, very emotional 50 minutes, just like the free-to-play movie, because I was crying, I was in tears. I was like, oh my gosh, no, Dindy, don't, no, it's your dog. Anyway, for those who haven't seen it, go watch it. It's awesome. There was no dogs involved, as far as I know. Actually, no, there was a dog involved.
That's on my list of stuff to do for tonight, yeah, definitely.
What, dogs? Dude. No.
Dude. I was going to say free-to-play, but in context, that might not make it sound better. I mean, watch the movie.
And yes, guys, as you see, the longer the interview goes, the more unprofessional it becomes. So, Grumbl3dook, would you like to say your final goodbye to all the beautiful people out there?
Final goodbye to all the beautiful people out there.
There we go, that's why he's here. As you guys heard him, he has said a lot about himself. I hope you guys got to know more about him. He also has all his links listed here on the overlay, or sorry, on the video that you guys see. His Twitter is at the top, Twitch is in the middle, and his YouTube's at the bottom. More of his links, or more of his group's links, will be in the description below, so definitely go check those out. And also, if you guys really, really want to contact him, because he's in a group, he started up a group, I'm sure you're recruiting people, right?
Yeah, for pretty much anything. If you're interested in casting, playing, whatever, even playing at different levels, because we've got different levels of teams.
And what is the best way for people to contact you through that? And don't say your email, because if it's your email, just say email me, and then by that I'll tell them to contact me, because I don't want you to put your email out there.
I would suggest pretty much any one of these. Like, I think you can send people messages on Twitch, you can send people messages on YouTube, you can send it to me on Twitter. Just get in touch somehow. I'm around.
Okay. So pretty much there you go. You guys heard him say it himself. Contact him on one of his media sites, and he'll definitely get with you. Because with all groups,
I don't get that many messages yet. you can contact me. You'll stand out.
The floodgates will open soon. Just you watch.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Hashtag and before Purge contacts you. Anyway, so so I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. As always, and Grumbl3dook, thank you for joining us. That will be the end of this interview. And we hope you guys enjoyed it, and as always, we'll see you guys whenever.
Ciao.